Most self-help advice tells you to think positive, chase happiness, and never give up. This book says all of that is making you miserable. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** by Mark Manson became a massive bestseller by arguing the opposite of everything self-help usually tells you, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why that approach actually works better. Manson isn't selling positivity, he's selling clarity. His core idea: you only have limited time and energy, so the real skill in life isn't caring about everything. It's choosing carefully what deserves your F***. Here's what we're breaking down. Why trying to be happy all the time backfires. The difference between good values and bad values. Why taking responsibility beats blaming. How accepting your limits actually sets you free. Let's get into it. The feedback loop from hell. This one idea alone explains why so many people feel anxious even when nothing's wrong. Manson calls it the feedback loop from hell: when you feel bad, and then feel bad about feeling bad, and then feel anxious about feeling anxious. The chase for constant positivity creates more suffering, not less. The fix isn't forcing happiness. It's accepting negative emotions as a normal part of life instead of treating them as a problem to fix immediately. Practical takeaway: next time you feel bad, don't panic, fix it. Just let it exist. That alone reduces the spiral. Not all values are equal. Here's where the book gets controversial, because it says some things you care about shouldn't matter to you at all. Manson argues good values are things like honesty, growth, and accountability, things you can control and that make life better long term. Bad values are things like constant pleasure, being liked by everyone, or always being right, things based on external validation. The problem: most people build their identity around bad values without realizing it, which is why they feel empty even when life looks good. Why are so many people exhausted even when their life looks good from the outside? They have a job, a phone, a car, friends, and endless entertainment. Yet they still feel anxious, distracted, and never quite satisfied. Maybe you've felt it too. You check social media and suddenly your life feels behind. Someone bought a house. Someone got promoted. Someone is traveling the world. And without realizing it, your mood changes. Now imagine something different. Imagine waking up and not caring about every opinion, every trend, every comparison, and every tiny problem that steals your attention. Imagine having the confidence to focus only on what truly matters to you. That is the mindset we're talking about today. By the end of this video, you'll understand why trying to impress everyone is exhausting, why perfection is impossible, and why caring less about unimportant things can actually make you happier, calmer, and more successful. Introduction. Modern life is loud. Your phone vibrates. Notifications appear. Emails arrive. News headlines compete for attention. Social media shows you thousands of people who seem smarter, richer, fitter, and happier than you. Every day, you're told what you should want. You should earn more. Look better. Work harder. Travel more. Be more productive. Be more interesting. Be more successful. Even after reaching one goal, another goal immediately appears. Many people spend years chasing approval without realizing it. A college student worries about classmates. A young professional worries about co-workers. An entrepreneur worries about customers. A parent worries about neighbors. Everyone is worried about everyone else. But here's a question that can change your life. What if the problem isn't that you don't have enough? What if the problem is that you're giving your attention to too many things that don't deserve it? Your attention is limited. Your energy is limited. Your time is limited. Every day, you spend those resources somewhere. Spend them on comparison, gossip, and trying to impress strangers, and you'll feel exhausted. Spend them on meaningful work, strong relationships, good health, and personal growth, and your life begins to change. Lesson 1: Stop trying to be perfect. Think about the last time you made a mistake. Maybe you sent an email with a typo. Forgot something important. Said something awkward. Or posted something online and worried about what people would think. Most people replay those moments over and over in their minds. But here's the truth. Everyone is imperfect. The confident person you admire has insecurities. The successful entrepreneur has failures. The influencer with perfect photos has problems you never see. Perfection is not a destination. It's an illusion. And chasing it creates constant anxiety. Imagine a young professional named Alex working in Chicago. He checks every email 5 times. He overthinks every presentation. He hesitates before applying for better opportunities because he believes he isn't ready yet. One day, his mentor tells him something simple. Your goal is not to be perfect. Your goal is to improve. Everything changes. When you chase perfection, every mistake feels like failure. When you chase improvement, every mistake becomes a lesson. A missed shot teaches an athlete what to practice. A failed business teaches an entrepreneur what customers actually want. A difficult conversation teaches better communication. The mistake is never the real problem. Refusing to learn from it is. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall hundreds of times. Yet no one calls them a failure. Falling is simply part of learning. Life works exactly the same way. Growth requires imperfection. Here's another truth. Most people aren't thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. That embarrassing moment you still remember? Almost everyone else forgot it within minutes. They're busy worrying about their own lives. Once you realize this, life becomes lighter. You stop trying to impress everyone. You stop pretending to be perfect. Instead, you ask yourself one powerful question. Am I becoming a little better than yesterday? Perfection creates fear. Progress creates confidence. Look at any successful athlete, musician, entrepreneur, or creator. None of them started as experts. They improved by showing up, making mistakes, learning, and trying again. No one skips the messy middle. And neither should you. So the next time you make a mistake, don't ask, how do I avoid looking imperfect? Ask, what can this teach me? That single question can completely change your life. Lesson 2, choose what truly matters. Imagine you wake up tomorrow with only 100 points of energy. Not money. Not time. Energy. Every conversation, every worry, every argument, every decision, and every goal costs you some of those points. Now ask yourself this question. Where are you spending your energy every single day? Many people spend it worrying about strangers on the internet. They worry about getting enough likes. They worry about what people think of their clothes, their job, their car, or their lifestyle. By lunchtime, half of their emotional energy is already gone. The truth is, your attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Once you spend it, you can never get it back. Think about Sarah, a young marketing manager living in Dallas. Every morning she opens social media before getting out of bed. Within 10 minutes she has compared herself to successful entrepreneurs, fitness influencers, and friends who seem to have perfect lives. She hasn't even started her day, yet she already feels behind. Nothing in her life changed. Only her focus changed. That's the danger of giving your attention to things that don't deserve it. The happiest people aren't the ones who have everything. They're the ones who know what deserves their attention. Instead of asking, how do I make everyone like me? Ask, are the people I care about proud of the person I'm becoming? Instead of asking, how can I look successful? Ask, am I building a life I'm actually proud to live? Those are completely different questions. One is based on approval. The other is based on purpose. Every successful person eventually learns an important lesson. You cannot make everyone happy. No matter what you do, someone will disagree with you. Someone will criticize you. Someone won't understand your choices. And that's okay. If you spend your life trying to satisfy everyone, you'll eventually lose yourself. The people who make the biggest impact aren't afraid of disappointing the wrong people. They're committed to serving the right purpose. Think about the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and creators. They all faced criticism. People doubted them. People laughed at their dreams. If they had listened to every opinion, they would have quit long before succeeding. The same applies to your life. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every argument deserves your attention. Not every problem deserves your stress. Learning what to ignore is just as important as learning what to pursue. Here's a simple exercise. Write down the 5 things that matter most in your life. Maybe it's your family, your health, your career, your faith, your personal growth. Now compare that list with how you spent yesterday. Did your actions match your priorities? For many people, the answer is no. They spent more time scrolling than learning, more time worrying than creating, more time comparing than improving. Your future is shaped by what receives your attention today. Every yes you give to something unimportant is a no to something meaningful. That's why successful people protect their focus. They don't try to do everything. They do the things that matter most. Once you stop chasing everyone's approval, something amazing happens. You feel lighter. You become calmer. You make better decisions. And for the first time in a long time, your life starts moving in the direction you actually want. But even after choosing what matters, there's one challenge everyone must face. Growth is never comfortable. Every meaningful dream comes with obstacles, setbacks, and moments when you feel like giving up. So how do successful people keep moving forward when life gets hard? Lesson 3: Growth always comes with discomfort. Everyone wants success. Almost nobody wants the discomfort that comes before it. People dream about getting stronger, but they don't enjoy difficult workouts. They want a successful career, but they don't enjoy long hours of learning new skills. They want meaningful relationships, but they don't enjoy difficult conversations. The truth is simple. Every worthwhile goal has a price. The question isn't whether you'll face problems. The question is which problems are worth solving. Imagine a young man named Ethan. He dreams of starting his own business. Every day, he watches videos about successful entrepreneurs. He reads books. He makes plans. But months go by, and nothing changes. Why? Because he's waiting until he feels completely ready. One day, he realizes something important. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes because of action. So he launches his first small online business. It isn't perfect. His first product barely sells. Some people ignore it. A few even leave negative comments. At first, he feels disappointed. Then something unexpected happens. He learns. He improves his website. He understands his customers better. He creates a better product. A few months later, sales begin to grow. If he had waited for the perfect moment, he would still be waiting today. Life rewards people who are willing to be uncomfortable for a while in exchange for something meaningful later. Think about learning to drive. The first time behind the wheel feels scary. Your hands shake. You overthink every turn. But after enough practice, driving becomes automatic. Nothing changed except your willingness to stay uncomfortable long enough to improve. The same pattern appears everywhere. The first workout is hard. The first speech is terrifying. The first job interview feels stressful. The first business feels risky. The first investment feels uncertain. Growth always asks the same question. Are you willing to feel uncomfortable today so you can become stronger tomorrow? Most people answer no. That's why they stay exactly where they are. They confuse comfort with happiness. But comfort only feels good for a short time. Stay inside your comfort zone for too long, and life begins to feel repetitive. You stop growing. You stop learning. You stop discovering what you're capable of. Think about your own life. How many opportunities have you missed because fear convinced you to stay where you were? Maybe you didn't apply for that job. Maybe you never started the business you dreamed about. Maybe you stayed quiet instead of sharing your ideas. Fear protects you from failure. But it also protects you from success. The people you admire aren't fearless. They simply learned that fear is part of the journey. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" they ask, "What if this changes my life?" That single question shifts your focus from fear to possibility. Remember this: pain is temporary. Growth is lasting. Every challenge teaches patience. Every setback teaches resilience. Every obstacle teaches wisdom. One difficult season can prepare you for opportunities you never imagined. So don't run away from every hard moment. Sometimes the struggle you're trying to avoid is the very thing that's preparing you for your next breakthrough. And that leads to another powerful truth. Even when you give your best effort, you will still fail sometimes. The difference is that successful people don't let failure define them, they let it teach them. Lesson 4: Failure is your greatest teacher. Have you ever noticed that most people are afraid to fail, but the people we admire the most have failed countless times? Think about it. Every successful entrepreneur has launched ideas that didn't work. Every athlete has lost important games. Every author has faced rejection. Every successful person has experienced moments when they questioned themselves. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey to success. Imagine a young woman named Jessica. She dreams of becoming a software engineer. After months of studying, she applies for her dream job. A week later, she receives an email. "We've decided to move forward with another candidate." She's disappointed. For a moment, she believes she's not smart enough. She thinks about giving up. But instead of quitting, she asks herself one important question: what can I learn from this? She reviews her interview. She realizes she struggled with technical questions. So she spends the next 3 months improving her skills. She practices coding every day. She joins mock interviews. She studies harder than ever before. Eventually, another opportunity comes. This time, she's ready. She gets the job. What changed? Not her dream. Not her intelligence. Only her willingness to learn from failure. That's what separates successful people from everyone else. They don't see failure as proof that they're incapable, they see it as feedback. Every mistake contains a lesson. Every setback contains information. Every disappointment points toward improvement. Think about riding a bicycle. Did you learn without falling? Probably not. You fell. You got back up. You adjusted your balance. And eventually, riding became natural. Life works the same way. Confidence isn't built by avoiding failure. Confidence is built by surviving failure. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence that you're stronger than you thought. That's why resilient people don't panic when life becomes difficult. They've learned that hard seasons never last forever. Instead of saying, "I failed," they say, "I learned." That tiny change in language creates a huge difference in mindset. Your identity isn't determined by one bad day. One rejection doesn't define your future. One mistake doesn't erase your potential. One failed business doesn't mean you'll never succeed. The people who achieve extraordinary results aren't always the smartest. They're often the most persistent. They simply refuse to quit. Imagine planting a tree. For weeks, nothing seems to happen. You water it. You protect it. You wait. Then one day, a small green shoot appears. Success often works the same way. Your effort is growing beneath the surface long before anyone else can see it. So don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Stay focused on becoming better every single day. The next time life knocks you down, remember this: failure is not the end of your story. It's simply another chapter. Learn from it. Grow from it. Then keep moving forward. Because every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are now, uncertain, afraid, and wondering if they were good enough. The only difference is that they chose to keep going. And that decision changed everything. Lesson 5: Take responsibility for your life. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that no one is coming to rescue you. Not your boss. Not your friends. Not your family. Not luck. At first, that thought sounds scary. But it's actually one of the most freeing ideas you'll ever accept. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone else to change your life, you take back your power. Many people spend years blaming everything around them. They blame the economy. They blame their parents. They blame bad bosses. They blame bad luck. Sometimes those challenges are real. Life isn't always fair. But here's the important question. What can you control today? You may not control what happened yesterday. But you always have a choice about what you do next. Imagine a young man named Ryan. He dreamed of getting fit for years. Every Monday he promised himself, "This is the week." Then work became busy. The weather wasn't perfect. He felt tired. Months turned into years. One evening, Ryan looked in the mirror and realized something. His biggest obstacle wasn't his schedule. It wasn't his gym. It wasn't his job. It was the excuses he kept believing. The next morning, he made one simple promise. "I'll exercise for just 20 minutes. Not 2 hours. Not the perfect workout. Just 20 minutes. One day became 1 week. 1 week became 1 month. A few months later, people started noticing the difference. They asked Ryan what secret program he had followed. He smiled because there was no secret. He simply stopped making excuses and started taking responsibility. The same principle applies to every area of life. Want a better career? Learn a new skill. Want better relationships? Become a better listener. Want financial freedom? Start managing your money wisely. Want more confidence? Do things that scare you a little every day. Small actions repeated consistently create extraordinary results. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel motivated. The truth is, motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Some mornings you'll feel excited. Other mornings you'll want to stay in bed. Successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits. They know that tiny daily actions are more powerful than occasional bursts of inspiration. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wait until you're motivated. You simply do it because it's part of your routine. Imagine if personal growth worked the same way. Reading 10 pages a day. Walking for 30 minutes. Learning one new skill each week. Saving a little money every month. Those small habits may seem insignificant today. But over a year, they completely transform your life. Responsibility doesn't mean blaming yours for everything. It means accepting that your future depends more on your choices than your excuses. That's empowering. Because if your choices created your current situation, your future choices can create a different future. Every day gives you another chance to become the person you want to be. Not overnight. Not instantly. But one decision at a time. Remember this. Your past explains you. It doesn't define you. Your mistakes teach you. They don't control you. Your circumstances influence you. They don't decide your future. The life you want isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built through hundreds of small decisions that nobody else sees. And one day, people will call you lucky. They'll never see the mornings you woke up early. The nights you kept learning. The times you failed and kept going anyway. Success rarely looks dramatic while it's happening. It looks like consistency. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Take responsibility for the next step. Because the next step is the only one you can control. And once you master that, you'll discover another life-changing skill: learning when to say no, protecting your time, and focusing your energy only on what truly matters. Lesson 6: The power of saying no. Imagine receiving 3 invitations on the same weekend. One is a party you don't really want to attend. One is extra work you don't actually have time for. And the last is an opportunity to spend a quiet evening with your family or work on a goal that truly matters to you. Many people automatically say yes to the first 2. Why? Because they don't want to disappoint anyone. They worry that saying no will make them look selfish, rude, or unhelpful. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to something that does. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your attention is limited. That's why learning to say no isn't selfish. It's necessary. Think about a woman named Emily. She was known as the person who never said no. Co-workers asked her to stay late. Friends asked for favors every weekend. Family members expected her to solve every problem. At first, she felt proud that everyone depended on her. But after a while, she noticed something. She was always exhausted. She had no time to exercise. No time to read. No time to work on her own dreams. She was helping everyone else build their lives while ignoring her own. One day, she decided to make a change. When someone asked her to take on another project she couldn't realistically handle, she smiled and said, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now." The world didn't end. People respected her honesty. More importantly, she finally had time for the things that truly mattered. That's the surprising thing about healthy boundaries. Most people respect them. And those who don't often benefited from the fact that you never had any. Successful people understand something that many others don't. Being busy isn't the same as being productive. You can fill every hour of your day and still make no real progress. Productive people don't do everything. They focus on the few things that create the biggest results. Think about your phone. Every notification asks for your attention. Every message wants a response. Every app competes for your focus. If you answer every notification immediately, your day becomes controlled by other people's priorities instead of your own. The same is true in life. If you constantly react to everyone else's demands, you'll never have enough energy left for your own goals. Learning to say no creates space. Space to think. Space to learn. Space to rest. Space to create. And sometimes, space is exactly what you need to become your best self. This doesn't mean you stop helping people. Kindness is important. Generosity matters. But helping others should never require abandoning yourself. The healthiest relationships are built on respect, not guilt. People who truly care about you won't expect you to sacrifice your health, happiness, or future just to keep them comfortable. Here's a simple question to ask before saying yes to anything. Does this bring me closer to the life I want, or farther away from it? That one question can save you years of wasted time. Remember, every successful person has learned to protect their attention. Not because they don't care about others, but because they understand that their greatest contribution comes from becoming the best version of themselves first. So don't be afraid to say no to distractions. Say no to unnecessary drama. Say no to endless comparison. Say no to habits that steal your future. Because every meaningful yes begins with the courage to say no. But even after setting boundaries and protecting your time, there's one question that remains. What does it actually mean to live a happy life? The answer might surprise you. Lesson 7: What real happiness looks like. Most people spend their lives chasing happiness as if it's a destination. They think, I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I buy a house. I'll be happy when I make more money. But every time they reach one goal, another one appears. The finish line keeps moving. The truth is, happiness isn't something you find once and keep forever. It's something you create through the way you live every day. Real happiness doesn't come from avoiding problems. It comes from solving problems that actually matter. Think about a parent working hard to provide for their family. The work is difficult. The responsibilities are heavy. But there's meaning behind the struggle. That's why it feels worthwhile. The same is true for building a business, learning a new skill, or improving your health. The journey isn't always easy. But it's meaningful. And meaning lasts much longer than temporary pleasure. Another secret to happiness is gratitude. Take a moment to think about 3 things you're thankful for today. Maybe it's your health, your family, a friend who supports you, or simply another chance to improve your life. Gratitude shifts your attention away from what you lack and toward what you already have. When you stop comparing your life to everyone else's, you begin to appreciate your own. Real happiness isn't about having everything. It's about valuing what truly matters. Lesson 8: Life is short, so live with purpose. Imagine someone told you that you had only 1 year left to live. What would change? Would you spend hours arguing with strangers online? Would you worry so much about what people think? Would you keep postponing your dreams? Probably not. You would focus on the people you love, the memories you want to create, the goals that truly matter. Life is precious because it's limited. Every day is a gift. Every moment is an opportunity. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start the business. Learn the skill. Call your parents. Spend time with your children. Travel if you can. Read the book. Take care of your health. Tell people you love them. Don't let fear steal years you'll never get back. At the end of life, people rarely regret the risks they took. They regret the chances they never gave themselves. So choose courage over comfort. Progress over perfection. Purpose over popularity. And remember, your life doesn't have to impress everyone else. It only has to make sense to you. Today we've explored some powerful ideas that can completely change the way you live. You learned that perfection is impossible and progress is what truly matters. You discovered that your attention is your greatest asset, so protect it carefully. You saw that growth always requires discomfort, and every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger. You learned that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's one of the steps that leads to it. You discovered that taking responsibility for your life gives you the power to change it. You learned that saying no to distractions allows you to say yes to what truly matters. And finally, you saw that happiness doesn't come from having everything. It comes from living according to your values, appreciating what you have, and using your limited time wisely. Remember this: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need everyone's approval. You don't need to have your entire life figured out today. All you need to do is take one small step in the right direction. One better decision. One better habit. One more attempt. Those small actions, repeated day after day, create extraordinary lives. The person you'll become a year from now depends on the choices you make today. So stop wasting your energy on things that don't matter. Focus on what truly matters. Live with purpose. Keep growing. And never stop believing in your ability to become a better version of yourself. If this video inspired you and gave you a new perspective on life, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more powerful self-improvement book summaries and life-changing lessons every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.